So this is the old, slow and expensive way to outfit an operatory. I know you probably have something that looks like this. Let's go ahead and move ahead to a future that's simpler, more productive, and gets much of this out of the way. If it makes sense to you that a 10-day supply would be ideal, especially if it allows you to get it closer to the patient, more at the point of use, then the great news is if you build new operatories, much of these supplies leaves the room. Most of this is warehouse inventory, and the best place for it is where you'd inventory in any warehouse type facility, which would be in a central storage location. Then all of the technology, the high tech, all got smaller over the decades. So we can consolidate that as well. So we consolidate the high tech, we go ahead and bring the supplies that we need for the 90 to 95% of the procedures we do all day, every day at our fingertips, and then we'll show you what to do beyond that next. So let's work on the projects to specifically make things easier. The first thing, and you've seen us talk about this, let's get inventory easy. Then let's fix sterilization, because the two really nest as a cell if you think about it. If you can get your inventory consolidated and you can go ahead and marry it to the sterilization area, then that's the beating hub of the entire organization. Then we can empty out and decontent those rooms. And we'll do that even in offices that have paid for expensive side cabinets full of drawers, because most of them, as we'll see, are just full of junk. I know you paid a lot for them because they're dental. I'm sorry, we're going to move on. Like, give that a burial and have some counseling. But the fact of the matter is, it's time to go ahead and, like, you can, if you don't have any other place to store back inventory, you can figure out how to store some back inventory there. But really, yeah, you're better off making a home shop or a hobby center at home and rip those things out. What we'll then do is figure out what you need in high tech and figure out how to mobilize it so that we can get it anywhere you need, anytime. And as a result of these four things, the reward is that practice becomes an incredible 4-hand, 2-hand, and even 6-hand process that is remarkably productive. Let's start with inventory. Here's what you should do. Here's what I've done. Simplify to the best-in-class products. Don't try to find a cheaper version of something that you use every now and then, but you need this other one that you use sometimes because it's more expensive. Find the best one, the thing that you can use that'll do the most number of procedures, that is the most reliable, that is the easiest to use, and spend a little extra to go ahead and do that. I don't just buy the most expensive product. I'll show you what I do. The next thing is to create a central resupply area with 5 weeks of inventory. Why 5 weeks? Well, 5 weeks, if you have a cycle where once a month you take inventory, you're never going to run out of inventory. Now, there are some things that changes on occasion. When we had the COVID breakout, we found that there were some things like gloves and masks. Well, we have plenty of room for storage. So we were able to go ahead and immediately bulk up on it. We also had someone with some time that could go do that, because inventory should not take a lot of time to do. I'm going to repeat that. Inventory should not take a lot of time to do. It's not a job. Nobody pays you. Patients do not pay you to go ahead and do inventory. You can't send them a bill, we did inventory. So it's a non-value added step, and we want to go ahead and simplify that. And this is a way scientifically to go ahead and do that. Again, I can't talk about it today in the exquisite detail that we would need to, but I'll tell you how I would go ahead and handle that if you needed to make that change in your office. And the next thing is to pursue visual restocking so that everything that you stock is visually inspectable. So it's not up in an attic. It's not hidden behind something else. It's something where literally you can look at it and inspect it. Best in class. Everyone, has some guru that they pay some attention to, but for me, Gordon Christensen and Clinical Research Associates have for decades been great researchers of products, and they've got a group of testers that reliably survey instruments, products, and supplies, and every year they'll give a rating. And so if we have a product category that we're not thrilled with, we'll go ahead and have our doctors, we'll just pick the top 3 products from them and then try those. We'll have a limited trial with one doctor, and then in our doctor meetings, we'll meet together and we'll go ahead and say, well, this one's a little sticky, this one flows a little bit too much, whatever it is, and then we'll spread out that testing with the most promising of those, and we'll make a switch en masse. All of the doctors will move at the same time to the new product. All of the doctors will move at the same time. We've worked with practices with 20 doctors, and we've been able to do this successfully. It doesn't mean that there isn't a situation where we've had 2 cements or so, but we'll move en masse when changes get made. And guess what? There's only 2 or 3 products a year that we actually make changes in. So there's very few, because we're using best-in-class products anyway. The next thing is centralize that inventory. So that, I said, that was the beating hub of the practice. That's the place where everything emanates from to the treatment rooms. So I want that as close to central as possible. And that's central resupply and restocking and sterilization, all in that location. And then I want a visual. Now, we've got an area with outdoors on it here. If you want to have doors on them, you can have doors on those or not. You can have doors with windows, but the main thing is to know what's exactly where and be able to see it at eye level. So you can't have it something you need to get up on a ladder to get. Very important. If it's up on a ladder, this is all based on the Toyota production system, the most productive manufacturers on earth. So that's where this came from. I didn't make this up. Toyota spent $30 billion before they came to America to go ahead and figure out how to be the most productive manufacturer so that they could go ahead and overcome the tariffs that we put on them and the shipping logistics that was going to add expense to shipping vehicles to us. So they had to be a much, much more efficient manufacturers before they ever came here. So these things all come from that. And their statement is, once it's above 6 feet in height, it's in a warehouse. That it's not tactically manageable. So we're going to show you how to do that and simultaneously use 8 or 9 feet of height within the sterilization area, because no one wants to give up too much of the space in the center of the office for this inventory. So let's take a look. Here's somebody heading back out. They've already run the sterilization side of the sequence, and now they're coming back out to stock. And that'll be in a kit like that for a rare procedure, say a partial denture, precision attached partial denture, or another product that we hardly ever use. We might do it once a week or twice a week. We would use that. We'll actually kit those specialty kits up in this space. We'll talk some about that a little later.